Welcome back to this episode in the section of spiritual health in the series of holistic health. In the previous episode, we saw the true purpose of life is to progress spiritually and attain to self-realization. In this process, unpleasantness is our best guide, provided we follow its guidance. In the present episode, we shall see the contribution that this unpleasantness makes in our true purpose of life. What is the use of this unpleasantness in life? First and foremost, unpleasantness and pleasantness are inevitable. Why? Because we have a particular nature and we have to confront various types of situations and activities in life. Some will suit us, some will not suit us. So, pleasantness and unpleasantness both are inevitable. They are bound to come and go. We have to learn to take them in our stride. We cannot say that we should always have a pleasant feeling and never an unpleasant feeling. That is just not possible. The second importance is this unpleasantness serves as a danger signal. If there is any illness in our body, it is the unpleasantness caused by the illness that draws our attention to it so that we can take remedial measures. If we ignore this unpleasantness, then the illness will keep on progressing, ultimately destroying our body. Third, the unpleasantness and pleasantness is the guide in the selection of the means to the end. What do I mean by this? Say, why do we have taste buds on our tongue?
To guide what to eat.
To know the taste.
Yeah, so what is the big idea? Knowing the taste. If there were no taste buds, everybody would eat anything.
It's pleasant to your liking.
Yeah, so why? What is the use of that pleasantness and unpleasantness?
These are the indicators
Feel good.
Indicator of what? Yes.
to what to
Our
eat.
likings and dislikings.
Yeah. So what is the purpose it serves?
It is good for you or not.
It is beneficial for you or harmful to you. This is what it indicates. Like say, for the Pith Prakriti person, sweet food will be pleasant, pungent food will be unpleasant. So the taste buds are directing the person, take sweet, don't take pungent. This suits you, this doesn't suit you. It is our guide in the selection of the means. What is the means? The food. What is the end? Survival. So for our survival, which food is suited to us and which is not suited to us is indicated by the pleasantness and unpleasantness. Similarly, the vocation we choose in our life. Some person becomes a musician, somebody becomes a sportsman, somebody becomes an engineer, somebody becomes a doctor. Why did we choose these vocations?
Because
Based on our likes.
Initially, we tried everything. What suited to us brought pleasantness, what didn't suit us brought unpleasantness. What was suitable, we continued with it. What was unsuitable, we left it alone. So it is guiding us in the choice of the vocation for which goal? For a niyat karma. What are we supposed to do in this life? Which vocation are we to follow so that we can contribute to the society is indicated by this pleasantness and unpleasantness. Similarly, on the spiritual journey, which path is suitable to you? Whether Bhakti Marg or Gnan Marg or Karma Yoga or Raj Yoga is indicated by the pleasantness and unpleasantness. So, these feelings are our guides in the selection of the proper means to the end. But if we get stuck to the guide, what will happen? We will not reach the end. Like say, suppose you are traveling from say Mumbai to Delhi, either by train or by plane. When you go to the railway station or to the airport, which platform you have to go to catch your train, or which block you have to go to get your boarding pass, is indicated to us by the indicators. And there are too many trains and too many flights, so the indicator doesn't remain constantly. It keeps on changing. Now, once you locate the indicator of your train or your flight, what do?
You proceed to that.
You go to that platform or you go to the block to get your boarding pass. But if you keep on looking at that indicator again and again, as and when your train or flight is indicated, dekho aaya, then what will happen?
You
miss the
your-
train.
miss your train.
You miss the flight. We are doing that. It's only an indicator. After we have benefited from the indicator, leave the indicator and follow the indications. Like say you are lost on the way and you ask some passerby for the directions to the address you want to go to. And that person directs you. What will you do thereafter?
We
We'll
will
live.
follow the instructions.
We'll follow the instructions. Will we stand there and say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you? What we are doing, we are getting stuck to the indicator and not following the indications. So to follow the indications, you have to leave the indicator. But we are getting stuck to it. So what is happening? The guide is turned into a goal. And that is why we are stuck.
So, but so many times we feel that likes and dislikes are not good or they are bad. But actually they are helpful to us, right?
Yes. And we better follow the guidance given by them rather than getting stuck to them.
Yeah. So we feel that many people feel that likes and dislikes, you should leave likes and dislikes also, but actually it is not that.
Leave money, you should leave your insistence on them.
Yeah.
Your likes and dislikes are bound to persist.
So you should identify likes and dislikes, right?
Correct.
And then use it.
Use it to go in the direction that they are asking you to. Now, once we have followed the indicator, reached the requisite platform or the boarding gate, we get into the train or the plane, and let's say we got into Tejas train and we are so enamored by the train that even after we reach the destination, we travel back in the same train. Then what happens? You miss the destination. So, do not make the means as your end. Once the means has helped you to reach the requisite end, leave the means. Like when you are doing pole vaulting, you use a pole to reach the bar. Without the pole, you cannot reach the bar. But once you are across the bar, what do you do with the...
You leave it.
You
Leave
leave
the
it.
ball. Yeah.
If you don't leave it, you will come crashing down.
Crashing.
So the pole has served as a means to the end. Once the end is achieved, the means have to be let gone off. But when we make the means at the end, then we miss the goal. Another thing, while we are traveling, there are going to be various milestones on the way. Like say, you're traveling from Mumbai to Delhi. And on the way comes Mathura. And you like those pedas on Mathura and get down at Mathura, then you don't reach Delhi. Why have we done that? Because we have mistaken the milestone as the destination. So, the milestones are bound to be there. But if you constantly remember the destination, you are not going to get enamored by the milestone and break your journey. So, the feelings of pleasantness and unpleasantness are our guides in the selection of our means to our goals. Let's make proper use of them to find our proper means. Another use of these feelings is for course correction in life. Like when the shepherd goes to graze the sheep and the goat, he carries a big staff. What does he do with that staff?
Guiding,
Guides.
He guides.
driving, guides the.
Does he hit them indiscriminately?
No.
No. It's only when the sheep is going astray, he taps it to bring it back on path. If it doesn't listen,
Again.
taps a little harder. Still doesn't listen,
More hard.
taps more. So, the nature taps us to bring us back on course. To illustrate it, there was a doctor, Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. She wanted to be a pediatrician and she got admission in that. But the rule was that pediatric being a heavy post, the doctor should not be pregnant. She was found to be pregnant on testing and therefore she had to leave the post. So now what to do? She took up psychiatry. After she joined psychiatry department, there was spontaneous abortion within a few days. Anyway, she continued with psychiatry. After 6 months, she again applied for pediatric post. Again, she got it. Again, she was found to be pregnant. Again, she had to leave it. Again, she took psychiatry and again she was aborted. So somebody would say, how unlucky. But she was wiser. She said, nature is trying to tell me something. That I should be a psychiatrist and not a pediatrician. So, these unpleasantness are our
Indicator.
course correction, is for the course correction, that when we are going astray from our righteous path, nature taps you to bring you back on course. Heed it. Don't oppose it. Because if you oppose it, there are going to be greater tappings. Another use of this pleasantness and unpleasantness is it helps you in learning the lessons of your life. Say, when we recruit soldiers in the army, we don't send them raw on the battlefront. We train them. An important part of the training process is running the obstacle course. There is a course specially prepared where obstacles are created. Like there's a mud pit, there's a pile of rocks, there are trees which are cut and strewn around, and the cadet has to run the course every day. Why? Because that is the terrain he is going to meet on the battlefront. Now, some cadet removes all the obstacles and makes it a clean Maidan. Will he be congratulated?
No.
He'll be admonished. Who asked you to remove those obstacles? They had a purpose. So life is an obstacle course. It is for our training. But what do we do when we meet the obstacles?
We
remove the
actually
obstacle.
remove it.
Try to.
Try to remove it. Then we don't learn. And when we don't learn, we have to go back to the starting point. Like say when you are running the hurdles, you have to jump over the hurdles, one after the other. But instead of jumping over it, you take hold of the hurdle and remove it from your path, or duck under it, or skirt around it. Then what happens?
Not progress.
Then you are disqualified. Go back to the starting line.
Starting.
So, obstacles help us to learn, to grow. What are we supposed to do? Transcend it. Go above it. When you go above it, those issues don't matter to you anymore. But once you land, there is another hurdle waiting for you. What we want to remove all the hurdles and live happily ever after. We want to settle on a comfort zone. That's not the purpose of life. We have to clear the hurdles one by one till we reach our destination. So, these obstacles in life are our learning lessons. And if we don't learn from it, we have to repeat it again and again and again till we finally learn it. One more use of the unpleasantness is in self-control. This is our nature, and we like to behave in accordance with our nature because it is pleasant. But when we have to exercise self-control, we have to behave contrary to our nature, which is unpleasant to us. Because of the unpleasantness, we revert. Then the control is not exercised. So, if you want to exercise self-control, then you will have to accept that unpleasantness so that you can achieve self-control and be the master of your nature. Lastly, the unpleasantness serves the purpose of exhausting our karma. Whatever wrong we have done comes back to us in the form of unpleasantness. Now, if you try to escape from it, the punishment is carried forward. And not only that, because now you have done another crime, there is more punishment. Like say your best friend is in the prison and requests you to help him in breaking from the prison. What will you do?
Normally we are taught to help them.
Yes. What should you do?
We should not do that.
We should not help them to break from the prison. Maximum that we can do is ask the person to bear the current discomfort, serve out the sentence, and learn from the sentence not to repeat the mistake which landed him in prison. When we try to escape, not only are we forwarding our just deserts, but we are creating new karma. So, the unpleasantness is actually helping us in the progress in our life, and not making use of it for the purpose it is meant, we are the losers. So, let us come to this understanding that life is just not for eat, drink and being merry. Life is not to enjoy. Life has a solemn purpose. And it is our solemn duty to adhere to this purpose and utilize the life given to us in the service of this purpose. What we have talked throughout in this series, let it not remain a talk, but utilize it to set yourself on the right path and progress along that path to reach your final destination of self-realization. Then this entire series would have served its purpose.